Well, good afternoon. It's good to see you again. I'm Jurnee Taylor. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. A pretty busy day in Arkansas, across the state, of course. Yesterday, well, let's get check on the roadways and how they're holding up. It's looking pretty clear out there. You may run into some people still on their way out, but you're taking a look at the Big Rock interchange. That's I-430. Other than that, if you're getting out soon, just expect your typical lunchtime commute. Buckle up and take your time. We now want to send things over to meteorologist Nathan Scott for a check on weather. Rain throughout the night and this morning. We have a small break right now in central Arkansas, but rain should be coming back soon.
That is right, Jurnee. We got more rounds of showers and thunderstorms expected this afternoon and also into your Wednesday. Here's what's happening out there right now on radar. The rain that we saw this morning has shifted down into South Arkansas, where it is still heavy at times. Here's a high resolution look at that radar. Heavy rain through Camden, Hampton, Monticello. We got a flash flood warning in effect for northern parts of Chico County until 1:30 this afternoon. That's because they've seen as much as 4, 5, 6 inches of rain really over the past 24 hours. Lesser amounts off to the north. But I'm watching a new batch of showers and storms into northeast Texas, and that's lifting its way off to the northeast and also the east. So as we time things out here for you, more showers and storms expected to move in here to central Arkansas this afternoon into this evening. And some of the storms, especially down to South Arkansas, could pack a punch, with potential producing some gusty winds and maybe even some hail. I'll let you know when the rain moves out entirely over Arkansas coming up.
All right, Nathan, thank you. Well, new details this afternoon after the National Weather Service ruled storm damage in eastern Pulaski County was not caused by a tornado. Those crews were in Scott, Arkansas for a closer look at the damage left behind. According to reports, wind speeds got up to between 80 and 90 miles per hour, toppling over trees and power lines. Some homes in the area also took some damage, all of which, again, is not the cause of a tornado. The FAA is investigating a plane crash at the Clarksville airport yesterday. The airport manager says the plane came crashing down as a group of people were leaving after viewing Monday's eclipse. The pilot is reported to be okay, but 3 others were pulled from the wreckage and taken to the hospital.
They were cognitive, talking to us, up and alert. We did have to assist them to get out. Other than that, other than some lacerations that I saw myself, I don't know. I can't, elaborate on anything else other than that internally.
According to witnesses, one of the plane's engines allegedly lost power immediately after taking off. Unfortunate news this afternoon after the president of Shorter College dies at the age of 69. Dr. Jerome Green became the school's 45th president back in 2012. Under his leadership, the school saw record-breaking enrollment in graduates, as well as new academic programs catered toward student success. We will have more in-depth look at his life and legacy this evening at 5 and 6. Around Arkansas, we saw businesses go the extra mile as they prepared for what they thought the eclipse would bring. But for some, the anticipation was met with a bit of a letdown. From eclipse-themed products to bringing in extra staff, places like Morningside Bagels and Maumelle and Certified Pies in Little Rock both expected business to boom on Monday. The owners of those restaurants, however, saying it was pretty much business as usual.
We're usually a little bit busier, honestly, on Fridays and Saturdays, but it was a steady crowd. Sunday, we were completely dead.
Stewart adds he spent the past week trying to make sure he had enough for the huge crowds he thought would come in. And with the eclipse now behind us, you're probably wondering what to do with those special glasses. They can still be put to good use by sending them to Glasses USA. After receiving them, the organization will send them to schools in Latin America so students can use them for an eclipse in October. To find that information, just visit our website at teachv11.com. Developing across the country, the back and forth continues over access to abortion rights. Ed O'Keefe shares how this key issue is shaking up the campaign trail.
Former President Donald Trump still won't say whether he supports a proposed national abortion ban. Instead,
the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both and whatever they decide must be the law.
That means he backs the 14 states that have passed near total bans on access to abortion procedures since Roe v. Wade was struck down, and others, like his home state of Florida, that have signed 6-week bans into law. On Monday, former Vice President Mike Pence called Trump's failure to endorse a national ban a slap in the face to the millions of pro-life Americans who voted for him in 2016 and 2020. Marjorie Dannenfelser is president of a leading anti-abortion group.
I was surprised and disappointed in the context of the great opportunity that he has made real in this country.
Trump campaigned on a promise to nominate conservative Supreme Court justices who would overturn Roe, something he now boasts about.
I was proudly the person responsible.
Dannenfelser spoke with Trump by phone Monday and says he could still change his mind.
I still see an open door for signing a 15-week bill if it came to him.
President Biden's trying to make that exact same point.
If MAGA Republicans put a federal ban on his desk, he'd sign it.
Within hours of Trump's announcement, the Biden campaign released this new ad about a Texas woman denied abortion services after a miscarriage. She says she now may not be able to get pregnant again. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, the White House.
Vice President Kamala Harris sharing her response to Trump's stance as she headed to Philadelphia yesterday. After coming down hard on the former president, Harris insists that the Biden administration will not stand for a national ban on abortions.
So we protect and we believe in a woman's decision and ability to make a decision based on what is in her best interest, not having her government tell her what to do. And we are proud of that position.
President Biden continues to stand on his promise, saying if reelected, he would opt to restore Roe versus Wade. The vice president is meeting with families of the Americans being held hostage by Hamas. Pope Francis met with Israeli relatives of those held in Gaza yesterday. There, he called for an immediate ceasefire in the war, as well as the release of all hostages. More developments as a settlement has been reached by Norfolk Southern regarding last year's train derailment in Ohio. That incident sparking a national response, ending with Norfolk Southern agreeing to a payout of $600 million in a class action lawsuit settlement. The company says if approved by the courts, that money will be used to resolve all class action claims within a 20-mile radius of the crash. As for the city of Baltimore, leaders are gearing up for discussions on how to rebuild and recover from the tragic bridge collapse. Maryland's governor is planning to meet with members of Congress for what he calls, quote, an opportunity to support a port that is directly responsible for hiring of tens of thousands of people, end quote. Well, what's a nice hotel without the perfect scenery? When we return, we'll share how vacation spots are doing their part to keep surrounding communities intact.
And a flood watch is in effect all the way through Wednesday evening because we're expecting more rounds of showers and storms that could produce very heavy rainfall, especially into South Arkansas. I'll have a live look at radar and talk about when the next round moves in coming up.